Hey, what's up guys? My name is Moda and welcome back to the Mining Stacker YouTube channel. Today's video, we're going to finally take a look at something that we have been waiting for what seems like years. We do officially have specs, pictures, features of what is probably one of the biggest innovations in ASIC mining hardware we've seen to date. Okay, if you guys know of Jack Dorsey, back of Twitter fame, Block, Square, etc. There's been rumors, or not rumors, he's essentially confirmed over the past while that they've been working on an ASIC miner. And here's the debut of it, right? We're going to talk about the rig coming from Proto. It's pretty dope, right? We're going to look at the hardware, we're going to look at the specs, we're going to look at what we do know. You don't have the full details, but as far as the specs of the physical hardware, we do, and it's pretty damn impressive, okay? So we're going to talk about it, we'll look at it, we'll give our thoughts. If that sounds good, guys, stay tuned. Let's get right to this thing. So this is something we have been hearing about for a long time, and finally today they did fully unveil it. The company is going to be called Proto. The item is going to be called the Rig. Okay, so this is a Bitcoin ASIC. This is going to be specific to Bitcoin. Don't expect any altcoin ASICs, anything from this company, just because Jack Dorsey is very big into Bitcoin and it's coming from his company, right? So this is something that, from the design, looking at the video, looking at all the thought that went into it, definitely is coming from a miner's perspective, right? This is addressing a lot of the complaints and the gripes and everything we've had, and some of the ideas we've had that we've seen like small implementations of over these past years, and they've kind of fully ran with it. Okay, so as we look at the design, you can kind of see some of the features here. Number one is the modularity aspect, right? This is something we have talked about. This is something that we liked, for example, with the Locotech thing when they were making their little 10 stack. Something that you can control the hash rate, something where it's you're buying a box, you can buy the individual hash boards, you can upgrade as you need to or as you want to. And something we've talked about with some of the others, that it would be pretty cool for them to consider something like that. We've mentioned it with like the gold shells previously with the little boxes. It'd be cool for them to create like a mega box. You'd be able to put all your little hash boards in there and create like a mega type mining situation. This is kind of like that idea, right? So this is again specifically for Bitcoin. The big thing here is modularity. You can kind of see the size of it. It looks like the equivalent of like 3 of the ASICs kind of squished together into one unit, right? It's pretty freaking impressive, right? And this is built more for durability, especially as far as the chassis goes, right? Their big thing with watching the presentation was that they wanted to be, like, as far as infrastructure goes, something that's going to be there, something that's going to be reliable, something that is easily upgradable. Okay, so let's go through some of the features real quick. We'll go through the website just because they do have a pretty cool little interactive website. Let's go through it real quick so you can see it again. You can see the size of it, which is pretty decent. They did do like a comparison with a regular, like let's say Bitmain ASIC, and essentially the 3 units that are here are the equivalent of 2, let's say like S21s kind of next to each other. Okay, so the difference here is that you can see obviously the fans there, the hash boards are going to be behind them, and the PSUs and such are under them. Okay, so it's a pretty cool design. The modularity aspect of what is extremely freaking cool. It makes it extremely easy to replace a lot of things. So for example, here the graphic they're showing is fan replacement. It's toolless. You don't even need a tool. You don't need to do anything. You're not even placing any wires. It's literally going to be a tab right there. It's literally going to just pop right out. And that's how you replace the damn thing, right? Making, again, especially, I mean, obviously this is going to be a big benefit for us plebs and us at-home miners, but I thought mega benefits for any like farm operators, large-scale operators. It's going to make things like that a freaking breeze, right? Which is pretty freaking cool. Another aspect is the hash boards. So even the hash boards, the goal is for them to be easily replaceable, right? Essentially, pop off the fans. You're going to be able to slide these things right out, put the replacement in or the upgrade in, whatever the case may be, and that's it, right? Simplifying the process extensively. Like right now, currently, for any of us who are very familiar with Bitmain ASICs, replacing the fans is a pain in the ass. You're undoing the cover where it's at, you're taking off the control board cover, you're unplugging the wires, you're running the zip ties, running the things. Not the worst thing in the world, but I mean, I can't even imagine like doing it on a large scale type thing, right? Versus this, it's completely easier. Even just replacing the hash board is impressive. I mean, the other talks they're talking about is like upgrading in the future. Let's say once more efficient hash boards come out, be able to use the same base, the same chassis, and just swap that bad boy out, right? Which to me, that is extremely cool. And we'll talk about some of the things here in a second as well. Let's continue down. So it's not just the hash board that's modular, even the PSU, right? It's going to be like a hot swappable PSU or same thing. Gonna take just a few seconds, slide that thing out, slide the new one back in, and off you go, right? Simplifying the process extensively, right? So pretty freaking cool, and a lot of scenarios here that you can benefit from. Okay, so let's look at it. So here's a more extensive design. Again, you can see it's 3 hash boards per little chassis design. You can clearly see the PSU under with as well as the plugs. There is a little screen here in the bottom left corner. It's going to give you like different alerts, any troubleshooting things, which again is made to simplify things. You're going to see the hashboard errors immediately. Hopefully those hashboards will line up because again, you guys know with like hashboard 0 and everything with any of the other bit mains, again, is just simplifying and speeding up those processes. The other big deals are going to have open source firmware. It looks like it'll work with a lot of different manufacturers, not just their own. This is going to be big for fleets. Again, it's going to definitely simplify things quite a bit. And again, just simplify just even the fan thing is cool, right? It's just making things a lot easier. And they are going to have immersion models also. So it's air cooled and immersion ready, which is pretty interesting. One thing they kind of did mention, and the thing that did seem pretty cool, was the fact that, again, you're going to be able to upgrade as you need to. So again, if it's time to upgrade, let's say the next generation is coming out, and we've seen it with the Bitmains, right? We see it over and over and over again where it's the same damn box, same damn PSU, same damn control board. The only difference is the hash board, okay? Here, it's simplifying that process. It's making it easier, faster, way easier to ship also, right? Currently, the pain in the ass is the big-ass thing you're getting shipped. Now, imagine it'd be a much smaller box for just those 3 hash boards. Or if you don't want to upgrade all 3 of them, maybe you just want to upgrade one of them, right? They even gave an example where one thing that goes over time is you obviously want to be more efficient as the hash rate and difficulty go up. So there's the theoretic possibility you can underclock 2 of those boards to kind of maximize the efficiency, swap out that 3rd board with a latest and greatest chip, and therefore kind of balance out your hash rate while keeping that power level up, right? So it gives you extreme flexibility in those regards, which again, just kudos to them for actually like talking to the community, talking to these bigger miners and kind of doing things the right way, right? We've seen little things that were definitely a little bit better. I think it was Auradine that had, you know, the fans making a little bit more easy replaceable where the connector's on the outside. You don't have to open up the control board or anything. This kind of takes that to like the next level, right? This is definitely a lot more engineering, a lot more design, essentially kind of being like the iPhone or the Apple of these ASIC miners, right? And oddly enough, there were a lot of Apple designers or previous Apple employees who worked on this thing. Again, they were striving for simplicity, right? So again, a lot of cool scenarios there, a lot of different cool things. Let's look at efficiency. So this thing, definitely a lot of power also, right? So you can run up to theoretically 12,000 freaking watts. Each of the PSUs is 4,000 watts. So again, here's another breakdown of the machine. You can see the control boards here, which are also easily upgradable, as well as the slots for the hash boards. So there is only 2 fans on the front per chassis, per little shell here. And again, you can see all the boards there and everything going down. You can see the size equivalents here, right? So you can see the 3 here versus just the 2 units here, because again, the PSU being so clunky. In this case, it's under, slots in right underneath. Okay, so here's another breakdown. Here's the actual specs of it. So as far as like efficiency of the unit and everything goes, 14.1 joules a terahash, right? So when we compare it to what's currently out now, it does do fairly well, right? Is it latest and greatest? No. Is it better than the SealMiner A2? Sure. Is it better than a lot of the others? The S23, obviously, this got announced recently. No. right? Is it better than a lot of the other previous gens, or does it kind of slot in line with it? It does, right? If we compare it to like the S21 XP, for example, it's right in line with them. Okay, so this is kind of the equivalent of it. So again, it's extreme flexibility, right? They were showing the example also that you don't have to have them all filled. I'm assuming it's going to be like a build to order kind of thing. Let's say you do buy the chassis itself. You don't necessarily have to get the 9 boards. They also gave the example that they're going to have like filler plates, like a baffle, just to kind of not mess with the airflow of the unit. So for example, if you only want to get 6 hash boards and eventually upgrade down the line, it's something you'd be able to do, right? Which again is also pretty interesting. You'd be able to scale into it if you'd like, right? So definitely offers a lot of flexibility, especially with the firmware being open source. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of tweaking available with you also. Repairs are going to be a lot easier just because again, they're going to simplify things drastically. So that was a big thing they were harping on is durability of the chassis. So they're talking about like that the chassis would be powder coated, it's going to be durable, it's made to last for the long term, and essentially made for you to be able to easily upgrade these hash boards. So for them to continue generation over generation. Okay, which again is extremely interesting, and it does make longevity, and it's something that does definitely make sense, right? Instead of having all this freaking e-waste, when again, we've mentioned it over and over, it's been the same damn silver boxes for so freaking long. It only makes sense to do something like this because again, it reduces overall cost, overall waste, shipping, logistics. It does all of that. Okay, and I think the biggest benefiters are definitely would be farms. Imagine them upgrading the entire fleet. Like that's got to be a freaking nightmare for these like mega warehouses to when they're changing rigs, going from the old S19 to like S21 XP, bringing down every damn rig. In some cases, reconfiguring it because the unit's higher, bigger, taller. Wattages are different. I mean, this gives you extreme flexibility in those cases. And imagine just being able to pop open the fans, slide out the old hash boards, put in the new hash boards, voila. The amount of downtime would be minimal. The amount of like actual physical work would be minimal. Crazy. It would just be so much faster overall. Okay, so definitely a lot of benefits. And it's just interesting, right? So as far as efficiency goes, it's up to par with current gen. We can take a quick look at the video. This is going to give just a quick demo of the physical device itself. Again, this was the video that came out
anyone
today.
Who's taking apart a miner, like
you can hear
this is it.
Here.
You take your fans off. You've got your power supply here, and that's the hash board. I mean, these are all the components in less than 10 seconds. The nice thing is you can upgrade basically at your own pace. So if you're running basically a 2-board system because you've got really low cost power, you can actually leave this blank, and that's what we've shown here. So we include this baffle, so we make sure the airflow goes exactly where it's supposed to. Come upgrade time, you can take this out and put in your generation board in. So you could run basically 2 older generation, a 3rd one, or put the same. And what we want to make sure is you can spend exactly what you need to get the efficiency for that profitability that you need. I mean, nothing here takes more than really 5 seconds. I know we say 90, but you can do it a lot faster.
And so again, just it makes sense, right? It's something that's very simple. It just definitely makes sense, especially if they're around for the long term. Okay, and again, giving you that flexibility. They also mentioned that you can have different generation hash boards in there as well, and it's going to be no issue. So for example, if you buy what's current gen now, obviously 2 years from now it won't be. So you'd be able to keep those boards, potentially clock them lower to maximize the efficiency, and maybe only upgrade one of the boards, right? Maybe that upgrade of the one board brings your efficiency down enough where you're good with it, right? Or if you want to do all of them, 2 of them, whatever flexibility. Again, you have up to 9 hash boards on that single chassis, right? So very impressive. Definitely a lot of thought went into this thing. The one thing we didn't get though, and that's a mega factor, pricing, right? So it can have all these fancy features, it can do all of these things, they can focus big time on repairability, durability, but at the end of the day, pricing is a big thing, right? If this thing is coming in ridiculously expensive, if it's coming in at like 25K per unit, not going to be great, right? So we're going to have to wait and see fully where it is at that point, because as is, if you have this thing max configured, I mean, it's the equivalent of pretty much 3 of the S21 XPs. Okay, so that at that point, they're pretty freaking hefty price-wise. Okay, because as we look at it, if you have it max configured, it's 819 terahash, meaning you have the 9 boards. And then if it's up to 12,000 watts is the max. So if you get it down to 14.1 joules a terahash, so again, to figure out the wattage of this thing, so if you have it maxed out, 819 terahash, we multiply the 14.1 by the hash rate, and it would bring us to 11,547 watts, right? So that would definitely be hefty, hefty, hefty. And again, price-wise, this thing's probably going to be hefty if you have it maxed out. Again, it seems like they're going to have the flexibility, though, to kind of pick and choose how many hash boards you want in there. You can maybe start out smaller, start out with 3 hash boards. We're going to see the flexibility. Time will tell on that front, right? But again, pricing is going to be a big deal. And then when this thing is actually going to release, right? It does seem like they've been testing it for quite a while. They mentioned that in there. They didn't really give us a timeline or the price, right? Again, for me, the biggest thing is definitely going to be the price, because they can have all these bells and whistles, but if the price doesn't make sense, then it's not there. One thing that they mentioned, and I hope they kind of do, they focus big time on reliability, durability, that was a big focus for them. One thing that would be nice to see if this is going to be the case are easy, fast, cheap replacements, right? So the warranty on this thing is going to be 12 months, which, I mean, if they're going to harp so much on this thing being so dependable, reliable, and that's going to be a big portion of it, extend that warranty, right? Put your money where your mouth is. If you're that confident in your product, bump that up. Put that up to 24 months, maybe 30 months. Maybe by the time that people actually potentially make their return on investment, that would be something big, right? Being able to mine on it essentially kind of worry-free for at least 2 years. Doesn't mean you're going to ROI in those 2 years. But at least, again, if that's going to be your big focus, that should be the case. One other thing that would be amazing here is for the warranty process, considering that this thing is simplified so much, for them just to have essentially hash boards kind of ready to go, right? It would be pretty cool for them to have the warranty service be something along the lines of, okay, hash board 3 is dead, pull that bad boy out, it gets overnighted to Proto themselves. As soon as they get that tracking number, they immediately ship you a refurb hash board coming right at you, right? Imagine that, being able to ship it out and getting the new one immediately, okay? Because at this point, that would be something, even if they were to guarantee something like that, like replacements within 3 days or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that would, this process simplifies things, because again, currently right now, you're having to ship the whole damn box over to Bitmain, wait for them to troubleshoot, wait for them to do whatever. If this is going to get simplified this much, to me, that kind of only makes sense. Like that also would be a big portion or a big reason to kind of go with something like this if they were to offer something of that sort, right? And the fact that it's modular, so easy to replace, that would definitely make this guy also more appealing. Okay, so even if that initial price point is big, if they're going to be here for the long term, that's kind of where the mindset would be, right? We're going to have to see the prices of the individual hash boards, what ranges are going to be, etc., etc. But overall, though, man, the concept of this thing, chef's kiss. Like, it is an extremely good idea. It is something that we've been wanting, we've been asking for. We've seen glimpses of it. We've seen things that kind of are intriguing. But this just definitely 100% makes sense. And the fact that this thing is backed by Jack Dorsey, it is backed by Square, by Block, it's a pretty big deal, right? So it does seem like it's going to be here for the long run. We'll see how things play out. Again, to me, though, the pricing is going to be a big deal. They have to be at least competitive, right? It would make sense if there's a slight premium, depending on the thing, depending on the situation. But we're going to have to see how long till it actually releases, how long till it's available to us plebs, because, again, this is going to be something that's definitely beneficial for farms, so I could definitely see them doing bulk orders and the majority of the orders going to them initially, and then once that's more fulfilled, then making available to the plebs. We're going to have to wait and see, right? But definitely love this design, definitely love this innovation, and this is why we want to see all the competition we can to force the competitors to do something similar, right? Like this, immediately, this is where the innovation should be. This is actually an innovation, right? We've seen competitors, we've seen other market makers come in and they're doing things a little bit better, but this is the first time we've seen a pretty significant upgrade in the hardware that fully makes sense, right? This definitely simplifies the process. Okay, maybe it'll lead to others doing something similar or others doing something better. Maybe the prices come down, maybe they give longer warranties, etc., etc. Again, we need this innovation, especially in this space that's dominated by primarily Bitmain, right? As we've seen, we were doing that other video the other day, they have like a 83, 84% dominance period, which is pretty ridiculous, right? So overall, pretty freaking cool. Realistically, want to wait on that damn price, right? This is extremely appealing, though. Extremely cool. Let me know in the comments, guys. What do you guys think of this? Do you guys actually see this as a bigger innovation? Do you think it's going to be super expensive? I think that's kind of my worry. Like, yes, it has all these cool features, doing these cool things. But again, it's very like Apple-ish, right? Like, I can definitely see it having a hefty price tag. Or on the flip side, maybe to get people in the ecosystem, maybe they'll price it aggressively, knowing that if they invest into the ecosystem, they're going to be locked in for the long term, buying these upgrades, buying these hash boards, buying these other supplies. So it kind of depends on the strategy, right? I could definitely see it going either way. But let me know in the comments, guys, what do you guys think? Please comment, like, and subscribe, guys. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I'm out.